Hey everyone. Sorry to keep you waiting, but we are here back for the log-in series with Troon. We're going to be talking about facility management. So if you've ever played golf or been to a golf facility, and I want to say even some clubs that are not don't have golf, but they're private owned, those are the type of facilities that Troon manages. And so we have Kendall Murphy who's going to talk about Troon, the employment opportunities, and just to give you a general overview of what you can expect if you ever decide to work at a golf facility. So I'm going to bring on Kendall. Hey, Kendall.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Oh,
Thank you for joining us. If you don't mind, just tell everybody, a little bit about yourself, your role at Troon, how long you've been there, and a little bit about your background.
awesome. Well, my name is Kendall Murphy. PJ golf professional. Been a PJ member now for about 16 years now. Graduated from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas in 2008, and then became a member in 2009. Shortly after that, um, have worked in several different parts of the golf industry, from operations, where I was head professional, director of golf, running public facilities and resorts. Then moved on to more corporate roles, where I served as career consultant for the PGA of America, and my longest senior role was serving as an actual academic professor at the University of Nevada within the PGA Golf Management Program, where I did that for almost 10 years. Transitioning into my role at Troon, where when I first came on 4 years ago, I led their diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives to get the company on the right track. Transitioning from that about a year ago into my new role within business development and heading up our community engagement strategies across the country and the world. So that's where I am now with it. Been around the PGA of America and the golf industry, like I said, for my entire adult life. So it's all I know. It's what I know. It's what I love. The industry is a vastly growing industry, $102 billion a year industry with over $72 million a year in economic impact. Over 2 million jobs within the golf industry that are available across all sectors. I know we're going to talk about facility operations, but outside of facility operations, there's opportunities in the golf industry in every sector you can name it, from agronomics to finance to information technology to legal, um, to sales and marketing to um, actual medical practitioners. You could think of it. We need help in all the areas. So that's a 90,000 foot level view of it all.
Now, thank you for that, Kendall. And I agree with you. I feel like for those who don't know, like Kendall's PGA, I'm an LPGA professional, and I used to run facilities, not Troon facilities, but I used to run a couple golf courses. And I knew, always saw the people, the pro that was walking around the pro shop and handling the customers and handling the staff. But like you said, behind the scenes, you have the accounting department, you have the marketing team, you have the HR and so forth. So I think that's an aspect that people don't see, obviously, when they're coming into a facility every day. But if you're in that, if you have that background, of course, that's something that you can enter into. And so for those who don't know, Troon is obviously a management company, so they have several facilities, right? And um, I think what I didn't know until I was fully into the industry, like as an adult, is that there are companies like Troon that have multiple facilities throughout the
Mhm,
world, even, and
mhm.
that they specialize in just they're acquiring existing courses, right? And then
Yeah, so exactly. Not to cut you off, but yeah, just so basically, Trent, we're the largest golf management company in the world. So our specialty is we're basically specialized in hospitality with the golf focuses. We manage over 900 golf courses around the world. We're in about 35 plus countries, 47 states now. Um, we'll be 48 very soon here. And our main focus is to work with our clients, which are the course owners, to make their lives easier. So we're able to take a lot of the burdens off of them to running a business and put them on our platforms, whether it's employee benefits or legal or accounting or actual operations, marketing, sales. We're able to absorb all of these challenges that can come to a client that can become costly and financial burdens, and be able to assist them in that way because of our ability to s- because of our economy of scale ability, because of all the course that we have. So we cover all the different sectors, from public, private, resort, municipal. Um, we even have a couple of restaurants that we manage, some hotels, some yacht clubs, beach clubs. So we have an HOA division where we manage doorknobs. We also have an event division where we manage big time events like NASCAR events and USGA events and Formula One events. So we're expanding very rapidly in all types of entertainment and all types of hospitality, and becoming more than just a golf company. So we definitely view ourselves as a hospitality company. That's foundation is golf focused, but we can do a lot.
Yeah, that's great to hear and great for the clarification because to your point, I also didn't know all the things that you guys offer. So that's really good
Mhm,
to hear. Um, so if someone was interested in working, let's just say to manage one of your facilities,
mhm.
what skills would they need to have to be ready to do that?
Yeah, well, number one, you have to have a you have to have a people personality. In order to work in this business period, you have to be people centric first. You have to be able to make sure that you're a servant leader and you're willing to get out there and not only serve our customer, but also make sure that your fellow associates and teammates are taken care of. So to run a facility, that's first and foremost in my books. But ultimately, from a skill perspective, you need to have a strong business acumen. You need to understand P&Ls. You need to understand how to become creative with your budgets, how to be able to take something that may not be a lot, but be able to maximize it, but also be able to be creative and look at opportunities that you have at your facility to maximize the different areas of your facilities. For example, if you happen to have a food and beverage outlet at your facility, what are opportunities and ways for you to use that outlet outside of maybe normal business hours, right? So the golf course closes when it gets dark. Does that mean that the kitchen has to close too, or can we invite the local community over for evening dinners and those kind of things? Can we get local community members to come and host meetings and events and actually utilize the facility, just not just for golf, but also for entertainment purposes too? So you want to be able to be creative and think outside the box, and ultimately just be able to look at your asset and say, okay, you know what, how can we maximize this? How can we make the most out of this? And how can we serve the community that we're supposed to be serving? Whether that's the private club community, whether that's the public community, whether that's the resort community, they're all going to vary. But to be able to have that mindset, to be able to go into it being creative, but also understanding what the numbers mean, and then be able to go from there.
That's a good point. And I will say, people assume that a golf pro is always the general manager or facility manager, which is not
Hmm.
the case, right? I can just say
Hmm.
for
Correct.
me, my LPGA certification wasn't what helped me with my process of doing the management. My MBA
Right.
is what I use the most. So
Hmm.
I guess to that point, are there specific credentials that you guys look for when you're hiring for those type of roles?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it comes to the business acumen, So if you have an MBA, if you have a business degree, obviously those are like, we love to see those kind of things. But that's not going to be a disqualifier if you don't have it, right? If you have it, it's definitely a plus, because I know people that are extremely strong in business that never even went to college. They just figured it out and worked their way up from the ground floor to the top floor. And 10, 15 years later, they understood the business well enough to be able to run the business. I have some friends that have gone and gotten multiple postgraduate degrees and are doing very well too. So it's important. We love to see it. It definitely gives you a leg up to have those degrees in business and in accounting, and to be able to understand marketing. Um, but also we look at certifications like the LPGA, like the PGA of America, like the CMAA, which is the Club Management Association of America. Those are all important certifications too, because it proves that you have the ability to take the career path seriously, and you're going to go the extra length to be able to become certified and become an expert in everything that is warranted for that job, that job profile.
That makes sense. So could you describe for the audience what would a typical day be like for someone who's running a facility? You have an idea?
Well, that's the fun part about the golf industry. Every day is different. You never know what you're going to wake up to. You can have a plan leaving work the day before and say, tomorrow I'm going to do these 10 things. And you could wake up at 5 in the morning, getting ready to go into the office for 7, and that plan has shifted 180 because maybe a pipe bursted. Maybe your opening person didn't come, so now your shop's not open on time. Maybe you know one of your mowers went over the green and had a hydraulic leak, and now you have one of your greens messed up. Maybe somebody slipped and fell. There's so many things that happen on a daily basis at a golf facility that to be able to say, hey, this is what your day's going to look like is almost impossible. But if all things go right and everything's going perfect, one would say, especially if you're the manager of the facility, you're typically not opening up the shop or closing the shop. You're typically the one that's coming in probably around 7 or 8. You're checking in with your team when you first get there, see how things are going. You're checking out the tee sheets and see how many people are on the tee sheet, see basically how many customers you're going to have coming in. You're checking in with your other managers from the F&B unit, from the agronomy side, which is outside, your outside people to make sure that everybody's in place. Everybody has the game plan for the day, and you see what other people need, right? Like, do you need assistance with, maybe one area is short staffed, we need to pull people from another area. Maybe a shipment didn't come in for the kitchen supply, so we need to go make a Costco run real quick because we're short on whatever, things like that. So you're kind of figuring out in the morning what you need to do to get through the day. Then you're talking to your clients and your customers throughout the day. You're seeing how they're doing. You're being forward facing. You're out there with the clients and around the first tee area, thanking everybody for coming, greeting them as they finish. You walk into the grill, you walk around, shake their hands, thank them for coming, see if they have any questions or comments about different things that are coming up. But you're engaged with the clients and the customers because without the clients and the customers, we don't have jobs, we don't have facilities. So you want to keep them very, very happy. And also, that's what makes the job fun because you're interacting with people. You're not sitting behind a desk crunching numbers and staring at a computer screen. There are times where you have to do that, but that's not the job on a daily basis, right? That's the back of the house stuff that you do in the afternoons when things are slowing down. You bust out your laptop or your desktop and you figure out, okay, let me do some budgets, let me do some schedules, let me whatever your game plan is for that day. But that's pretty much it up until about 2 o'clock. And then again, you go into your office, you check emails, you do what you have to do there. You may have to order clubs. You may have to go out and give some golf lessons in the afternoon. And if you're at a club that's lucky enough for you, you may be teeing off at 3 o'clock with some members to play golf, and then you come back in at 6, 7 o'clock and you close up shop and you go home. You do it all over again in the morning. But that's the day in the life of a golf pro. It's going to vary a lot if you have a private facility versus if you have a public facility. If you have a resort versus a municipality, the private facilities are going to be really geared up for. They really want their pros to be forward facing and they want them to play with the members a lot. They want the members to be really, really engaged with the membership. When you look at like municipality facilities, you're pretty much looked at. It's going to be a lot more. Um, I would say it's going to be a lot more just operations based stuff to where you're just going through a daily operations just to run the show, right? You're not really playing golf with the members. You are talking to the guests, you are interacting with them, but because it's a different clientele you have coming every single day, you're not going to necessarily have that direct rapport to say you're going to have your locals and your people that come constantly, and you'll greet them and you'll know them. But you're typically just going to be working around the golf shop area, checking on your staff, making sure they're doing okay, checking on the numbers, checking on any problems outside on the golf course. Really, just a lot of problem solving in that. And then at a resort, it's the best of both worlds, right? Because you have folks that are coming there, you want to give them an experience for a couple days. So you're going to engage with them as if they're your member, for those 2 days that they're at the resort. So you're going to really, really engage with them and interact with them and, you know, give them lessons and give them tips and get them around the golf course and, really show them around the golf shop and help really curate their experience, whether it's from the merchandise perspective to the actual playing the golf course to their experience with what restaurant they're going to go to after the round. Like you're really engaged in what they're doing. So again, I failed to say the day in the life of a golf pro, whether it's LPGA pro or PGA pro, is going to vary every single day. And that's the fun part of it is that you have an idea what you're going to get yourself into every day, but at the same time, it's going to be different. And it's never going to be a dull moment. You're going to have times where you're going to have to constantly think and like problem solve through things, which from the way I think is like really, really fun. That's what makes this job not really a job for me. It's just I go into an office that has a green grass facility right behind it, and I'm able to walk outside whenever I want to. I'm able to touch grass. I'm able to play golf. I'm able to talk to people. I'm not just stuck behind a desk where I have to hit a punch clock, in and out, and then never see the day of light except for when I'm coming in and leaving. So
Right. And I'm so glad you ended on a high note, Kendall, because
yes,
you started off with
yeah. Yeah, no, you got. Well, I mean, you got to be honest with golf. I mean, it's a fun industry, but at the same time, there are some things that it's business still. So you're gonna have to. You're running
yeah,
a business. You're running a multi-million-dollar business, but it's fun though. It's a
yeah,
lot of fun to run the business this way. Um, I guarantee if you ask any business person that's running businesses, they all would prefer to be on the golf course. Simple as that.
right. Now, 100%. And I can agree with you wholeheartedly. Like I said, having done it, I think over 7 years at a municipal course, and I would say my favorite part about working in a facility, like you said, was interacting with my staff, with the customers, because some of them, like you said, you see them all the time. So you start to check in, how's the grandkids, how's this, how's that,
Hmm.
and it becomes kind of a family. And also the moving around part, because I would tell you, I went from working in a facility where I'm constantly moving every day and I might grab a hot dog on the way and then something quick at dinner and then going to corporate, sitting in a chair. And I think I gained easily like 10 pounds in a month. Like it was crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
realize.
different. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's something to say about just being able to just move around freely.
Yes.
Mentally, it helps you out too. Mentally, I mean, mental health's a big thing right now, and I would say that a lot of people are starting to look at it in a more serious way these days, and frankly, that's important. I know when we first started years and years ago, that wasn't the case. It was you grind out and you figure it out later, right? But now being able to, think about your mental health and be able to actually like walk around outside, see fresh air, talk to different people, and not just have your eyes staring at a computer screen or staring at pieces of paper. Like it gives you a lot of longevity. I'm seeing a lot of my mentees and even my mentors that are sticking around a lot longer now, and like they're happier now. And it has a lot to do with the way the industry set is. We're shifting the golf industry now to take that stuff seriously and to make sure that you have the ability to be able to move around freely as you need to do.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the creative aspect, like you said earlier, trying to find ways to bring in revenue outside of the traditional taking in greens fees, but and golf outings, but having using
Mhm.
your food and beverage. And for me, it was creating golf classes. I did women's programming, which we hadn't had before. I did youth programming for toddlers. And it was always just fun to come up with some new ways to bring in a new audience,
Yes.
because that's part of the I'm not an artist, although I wish I was, but that's my artist side is to like create programming. So I think that's a good part if you're a creative person. So let's.
Absolutely.
I have a question here. For people who are used to just coming there as customers, or coming to events, what's something surprising you think that they wouldn't think happens behind the scenes, or something that you've seen that's happened behind the scenes that was like they would never suspect anything. It doesn't have to be anything bad, just something that goes on.
Yeah, no, I don't think that people understand the amount of effort that goes into what might seem like a simple task. So, for example, when you come to the facility and you see your golf cars already lined up, ready to go with your scorecard in them and the pencils in them, the amount of effort and coordination it takes to be able to get those specific golf cars pulled up out of the cart barn, put there, lined up in a perfectly straight line, scorecard in the correct way, pencils facing the correct direction, tees, all four tees on each, all eight tees in each side, sand and seed bottles filled, towels in each cubby hole, charged up fully, wiped down and clean. It seems like a very simple task, but I tell you right now, that is very challenging, especially at the higher level you go. So when you're at a private club, it needs to be immaculate. Resorts needs to be immaculate. When you get to a municipal facility, it can vary a little bit in the quality. I still push for all of my facilities to be able to do it at a very high level, but understanding that our staffing levels are different, so that's the amount of effort you can put into it. But that's something that people don't really see is that it's a lot of work. Back of the house work, whether it be from food and beverage or operations, is a lot of work. And then kudos to our agronomy staff with GCSAA. Um, the amount of work that they put into the golf facilities that no one sees because they're cutting grass in the dark. So the first hour or so, I would say that the greens crew is there. It's dark,
Mhm.
so they're cutting like four holes in pitch black.
Mhm.
So imagine you trying to cut your grass in the dark
Yeah.
and get it perfect. And if you make a mistake, it's like $1 million mistake. So the amount of pressure that's on those guys and gals is insane, but they're really, really good at it. And they're experts in their field and their craft. But like I would say that's something that people who just go to the golf course have no clue. The amount of effort that goes into it and the amount of sacrifice that goes into it from all the teams that are at the facility.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. There's a question from Alex. What's an average work week for you?
Well, for me, because now I'm more corporate, so I don't really. I go to facilities. I'm at a facility probably a couple times a week, but normally my work week is to coordinate my week to where I figure out what facility I'm going to, where I'm flying to in that part of the country for the next few weeks. I'll show up at a property, and I'll just basically check in with the general manager, the head professional, the director of golf, all the management team. Walk around the facility, see how good they're doing, talk to them about what issues that they may have. Then from there, when I'm going to properties, I'm going there to run events for them. So community-based events. So then we dive into our community-based planning, and we figure out, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, how we're going to structure it, who our invitees are, and then we just go after like that. So my work week is a tad bit different because I don't have responsibilities to actually maintain the golf course anymore. I'm more so on the side now to where I'm looking to acquire new golf courses, but I'm also on the side to where when I do go to facilities, I'm there to really help them learn how to engage with the communities that they serve. So I'm giving them community engagement strategies. I'm giving them programming opportunities, helping to set up, for example, their junior league programming for the next year, their PJ Hope programming, their girls golf programming. I'm giving them the blueprint for all of this stuff and guiding through those processes. So as I travel in the country, that's what I'm doing. Just basically giving them those blueprints, and then at the same time also running an event for them that we bring in all the community as kind of like an open house to the facilities to be able to see what all you can do, because a lot of times we'll have golf courses. You can live right next to a golf course and not think that you're invited to that golf course, especially those that come from communities like ours that typically don't get invited to the golf course and have never been invited to the golf course. They don't even know if they can go to the golf course because perception is that's not for people that look like us.
Mhm.
So we're trying to break that perception down, say, hey, look, come one, come all. Not only do I want you here, I'm going to show you what all you can do here that's that's not even golf related. I want you to come here and just have a coffee in the morning before you go to work. I want you to come here and have lunch. I want you to come here and have dinner. I want you to host, your fraternity sorority meetings here. I want you here. You don't have to play golf at all. And if you want to play golf, even better. If you want to go to my driving range and learn how to play golf, I have expert LPGA and PGA professionals that can teach you. If you want your kids to play golf, we have programming for kids, whether it be through PGA coach. So That's what my daily day to day is just going around the country, talking to all of our facilities about this kind of stuff, and then just getting them all engaged in what's necessary to grow within the community. But that's also helping us to retain our facilities too, because now our clients see what we're doing, and they want us to continue to do that for years and years to come. So big
Yeah.
retention efforts to keep our contracts.
Right. Another question from the audience. I believe, well, I know the answer, but are you visiting, I guess, only TPC properties, or do you visit TPC properties? I think TPC being oh my gosh, help me with TPC.
Tour Players Club.
Thank you.
Um,
They wanted you to
I
visit those.
Yeah, I don't visit any of the clubs. That's to the TPC Network is its own management company, and that's an owned asset by the PGA Tour. Troon, we manage other courses very similar to the TPC Network courses, but so those are outside of our scope. Yeah, so we have about 900 so courses, um, and of which we go to there's like 150 that are municipal. So I focus heavy on the municipal courses. So right now, but also we look at other portfolios too in our public access. So I'm more so on the public access side, but not the TPC side. That's a whole nother company based out of Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida.
Well, I just want to shout out Highland Hills Park Golf Course, which you guys recently acquired about a year or two ago. That was my home course. I played in high school and grew up playing. It was where I played my first tournament at 9 years old and won. And I would say the buzz around the neighborhood, because my parents still live there, is everybody's excited about all of the updates that are being made, and that there's going to be
Hmm.
a driving range, which has never been there before, and the facility is being updated. So I mean, I say it firsthand, how when you have a professional management company, and by the way, we've had several management companies come through that facility over the decades, but to
Hmm.
have you all come in and hear everybody kind of getting excited with all the changes and seeing what's going on, I think it's a testament to the Troon brand. Because although they may not have been familiar with Troon prior to you all coming there, because of the immediate changes that you are making, um, everybody's excited because it's their course. It's my course. Even though I don't live in
Hmm.
Ohio anymore, that's still home for me. And so I just want to shout out that course, because I think people don't understand that that's what you all do. Is you can take
Yeah.
something that's been there for decades, and this
Hmm.
is a course for Black people that have been going to, but now you guys are taking it up a notch, which is making everybody feel excited to come there.
Yeah, and I would
Yeah.
say that we're very excited about Highland. Yeah, it's one of our new crown jewels right now. We actually just did a big event there. I hosted a big community engagement event there about 2 months ago, and we had over 120 kids, or youth and adults out there, from all around Cleveland metro area. And we are really excited to dive into that community and dive into that golf course and the history around that golf course. Sitting there with Jimmy Chandler and learning all about that. And then sitting with Charlie Sifford Jr. and him telling me stories about his dad being there. And, it was it's an amazing facility. We're super excited for the driving range. We're getting nets put up now. We're gonna have lights on that thing. It's gonna be technology out there too. So it'll be almost like a top golf experience, for everybody to come out and just learn and hit balls and have a good time. And the place is already a factory. It already, just produces golfers on a daily basis, but we want to make sure that we're enhancing the experience.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever we can do, from a conditions perspective, you know, from whatever that we can control, um, we're doing our best to do that. So I'm glad that you're able to see that, as a patron and as it being your home course, because once it's your home course, you can never not be your home course. So, but no, we're very excited about that property, and it's only going to get better as the years go on.
Yeah. Another question from the audience. Are Troon courses open for volunteers like the municipal courses, that other municipal courses?
Like, I would assume that they're saying more for like marshaling and that kind of stuff. Um, it depends on the course, depends on the area. A lot of times we like to hire just from a legality perspective. It just makes life a little bit easier for us if you're on our payroll for us to be able to, move you around and, tell you to put on a uniform, that kind of stuff. So it's we typically are gonna. I wouldn't say it's volunteers, but we definitely do hire throughout the community. That's our main goal, is to make sure that we're getting our community members engaged in the facility from an employment perspective. But um, yeah, so it depends on the market. Like I said, there's 150 municipal courses that we manage, so that's probably like 30 different markets right there around the country. So every state's gonna have different rules. Every city's gonna have different rules on volunteers. So I would say, as a rule of thumb, we look to engage with the community in any way that we can, and if we can get people to come there that want to be there, we're going to figure out a way to keep them there.
Would you recommend that he go to the local facility in his area and just
Yes,
inquire? Yeah.
absolutely. Go to a local facility, ask for the general manager at the property, and just inquire about what they're looking to do, and that general manager will then be able to articulate what they can and cannot do and what they want to do.
Follow-up question: how do they find Troon courses in Florida?
You go to troon.com, and then on the top of the website it'll say locate Troon facilities. Once you click on that, we have it listed by state. Just go to Florida and you'll be able to find Florida. You're going to see a lot of golf courses in Florida. We have quite a few.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of working at Dub's Dread. It's in Orlando,
Hmm.
Florida, a very popular course. It reminds me of Highland, actually, because it's very diverse and it's
Hmm.
right in the heart of Orlando.
Great history.
Yeah, I worked for the academy, but it is like you said, they're revamping the whole driving range. They already had one, but now they're making it, like you said, similar to a top
There's a
golf
learning
course.
center now. Yeah,
Yes.
we just built a learning center for them. I think it's actually it should be opening this week. Fingers crossed. Um, and yes, technology, TrackMan technology on the range with the brand new indoor teaching center with two big bays, indoor outdoor, so you can hit balls indoor and open up the garage door bays to hit balls out. Um, New putting green, chipping green. If I mean, that place is already again, the teaching academy, as you know, is a really big one. They pump a lot of kids out of the academy. With the help of yourself and Maurice, and know, it's getting the popularity of kids coming through there. A lot of people. So that place is just going to get even better. But ton of history there too. Just yeah, another good one. So yeah, we have that one here. In Orlando, which are we're really happy about that one. That's a good one. We've had that one in our portfolio for a long time, and we don't want to get rid of it anytime soon.
Yeah, no, that place stays packed. And I will say, as a part-time instructor there, I'm appreciative because having taught it's probably around this time last year I was doing the academy. It was so hot with no
Hmm.
shade. So it's going to be
Hmm.
nice to have
Yes.
shade in Florida as an instructor because that can be brutal with the sun.
Brutal.
They asked, have you ever played Clearview in Canton, Ohio?
I've not played Clearview. I have an open invitation from the great Miss Powell, and I need to go. I need to go. It's on my list of places to play in the spring when I do my Ohio rotation next year. I'm definitely adding Clearview to my list of places to play 'cause I need to get out there and play it. It's ridiculous. It's sad that I haven't played it yet. To put it that way,
I mean, it's
I'm
just to be
I'm
clear.
embarrassed.
Yeah, you should not be. You should be too embarrassed. Being from Cleveland to get to Canton is not like an accident. You have to really intentionally plan to go there. So you just have to make a date for it or go to one of her events. But yeah, it's a pretty cool course. I played it and I was fortunate enough to play it while Mr. Powell was still living.
Oh wow.
And that was kind of cool because there's some tricky holes there. And I think he caught me on one of them where there's literally a tree right in front of the green, and I was like, how do I play this shot? Because it wasn't a small tree. But
Hmm.
however I played it, he gave me a thumbs up. So I was like, okay, good. I did not embarrass myself.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But yeah, so they said it's on the bucket list. So yeah, it's a pretty cool course. And I know they, like I said, they do a lot of events there. So even if you
Hmm.
don't get to go there, just a casual visit, they have a lot of outings to
Yeah.
support their foundation there. All right,
Mhm.
so let's get to the employment side, what opportunities are maybe available now, or if somebody wanted to enter into the Troon community and the facility management, what would be the entry point?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a couple entry points. Follow us on LinkedIn. We post all of our job openings on LinkedIn, so find Troon on LinkedIn for sure. Also, go to our webpage, troon.com. Go to the bottom, look under employment. You'll be able to see all of our opportunities from around the country and around the world that we have, both corporate and facility based. Also, if you're by a local Troon facility, just feel free to stop by. Stop by, talk to the general manager. You know, it may not be a position that's posted, but it may be a position that GM was thinking about having. You know, and they just haven't posted yet, and you may be the right person for it. So I know we're so accustomed to doing things online now, but it's always fun to go by and do face to face meetups too, and just stop by and just introduce yourself, tell them about what you're doing, what your plans are, and we can engage you that way. And also, always if you have any issues or comments or questions, or you know, I'm always a resource to everybody, so you can always reach out to me via email, and then I'll be able to direct you in the right direction or give you any advice if you're looking to get into the PGA or looking to get into the PGA. You know, between myself and Jamie, we can always, you know, help guide you in that pathway if that's what you're looking to do. Um, looking to if you've already done that, and or you're just looking to get into the industry, you know, we can I can definitely help guide you into what makes the most sense for you, especially if it's from a property level based upon where you are or where you're willing to leave. But I just looked right before I hopped on this call here. I just looked at. I got an email of our top 10 openings right now. And there's three general manager positions that are at pretty good facilities right now. One in Bend, Oregon, one in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and another one in California. And there's other ones, but those are like the we pick three every 2 days to highlight,
Mhm.
and those are the ones that popped up. So there's so many opportunities out there, you know, from the highest level of general managers to, you know, executive chefs to, you know, property accountants, property controllers, to head pros, general managers, teaching professionals, director of instructions, agronomy people. Um, yeah, we need it all, and there's always opportunities out there. So definitely look at LinkedIn. Definitely go to our webpage, and then you can use me as a resource as well.
Yeah, and I want to echo what you said earlier about when it comes to working at a facility like this, it is so crucial to be there in person. This is not, I mean, I know, like you said, we're in the day and age of people emailing and calling, but every person I've hired when I was running my facilities, I met them face to face. There was never a
Mhm.
like, a phone call leading up to the interview. Like it was usually they show up, they give me their resume, and then I have a conversation, and then we go from there.
Mhm.
But I think that's I won't say the only way, but that's the best way to get yourself an opportunity to get into one of these facilities.
It's a smart way.
And
Put it that way.
yes,
It's a smart
smartest
way.
way. There you go, the smartest way. And obviously, the roles you just mentioned are either full time or part time, right?
Correct.
Okay. And then there's seasonal. There's also seasonal
Mhm.
roles, correct,
Mhm.
for the people
Yeah.
working around
Again,
facilities.
depend on where you're in the country, like in the north, where you're from. You know, it's seasonal. Where I'm from in California, we're year round.
Hmm.
You know, so it depends. Like in the Southwest, where our headquarters is in Scottsdale, Arizona, it's quasi seasonal. Where in the summertime it's slower.
Hmm.
With golf booming now, really we can't tell much of a difference because golf is so big popular now. But in the summertime, it's slower. Wintertime is busier. Florida, same thing. So there are seasonal locations, and there's also year-round locations too. So again, it's about where you're looking to where you're looking to want to work, what part of the country or world, and then also, you know, what you're looking for: full time, part time, inside, outside, corporate, field. You know, so all those opportunities are available.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. Oh, that's good. So does the corporate side of Troon, did they have, I know obviously they have full-time positions, but do they have internship program for
Mhm.
that side? Okay.
Yes, we have an internship program, a corporate internship program that we launch typically around January. and that's going to be summertime. So it's going to go from about mid-May to mid-August, um, and that's typically reserved for college age students. But not to say that no one else could apply for anyway. But that's typically reserved for our college age students to get them geared up and get them introduced into the game. And those are going to be within different departments. So you have sales and marketing, human resources, information technology, biz development, operations, food and beverage, corporate food and beverage, that is, um, retail. So those different markets, legal, they get one too. So those different departments are the ones that. So this will be our third year doing it. So it's getting better and better every year.
That's good. And as a Troon employee, aside from golf, what are some other perks that you get for the job?
You get discounts on golf equipment through Callaway. You get you get to work with a great group of people. You get very comparable, good pay, good comp, good benefits, um, health, medical, retirement, 401k match, HSA match, which is health savings account matches. Um, you get access to a lot of good golf courses. Um, Yeah, it's just fun. I mean, and that's on the corporate side. Now, if you're on the field level, the benefits can be even better for you, right? Because you're going to get the corporate benefits, plus you also have your local benefits of whatever market you're in. So, so yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot. It's
you
in the
missed
golf
it.
industry. Hmm?
You missed the most important part. At the facility level, at least, we have a really nice restaurant in Devstrait, so we get discounts on the food and the
Oh yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Yeah, I mean, if you're at the facility level, then you get the food, you get the food benefit. So you either get normally at it when you work at a golf facility while you're working, you eat for free. Your meal will take care of your meal while you're working, and then when you're not working, we'll give you our employee discount, which is basically going to be the cost of the food, um, because we're not charging for the labor of making the food. So you get deep discounts, and I would say the majority of our food and beverage outlets that are at our facilities are really really good, especially like the one at Dubs, which is this
yes.
entity. um how good they really are. That people come far and wide to just eat at that restaurant,
Yeah.
and don't even know the golf course there. They're just going for the restaurant. So so yeah, so staff and employees get to eat there for a discounted rate, and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of perks that go into working within our industry.
Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us regarding Troon. If you have any other follow-up questions, let me know because we got a lot of great ones that came in. But as we wrap up,
Mhm.
I want to, and for those who didn't know, we're talking to Kendall Murphy as part of Troon. Um, what would you like someone to know if they're looking if they are considering working at Troon? Why would you encourage them to do so?
Well, if you're looking to work for a fun, dynamic team, looking to do things that are a little bit outside the box. And when I say outside the box, I basically mean like we don't run our businesses cookie cutter. We have just about 900 golf courses. That's about 900 different businesses that we operate. So everyone's run differently, and we allow all of our operators to run with autonomy and to be able to use their creative brains to be able to make the operation run. We're not going to say, here's this manual, you run it the exact way. That's not the kind of management company that we are. And we're trying to dispel that myth to the rest of the world that our job is basically to make the client's job easier, to make our client happy, and to make our client money. And once we're able to do those things right there, we've done our job. So as an associate of ours, we're going to empower you to be able to do those things and be able to succeed and give you the tools and the assets that you need to be able to do your job at a high level. So it's fun, it's dynamic, and also if you want to work for a company to where you have growth and you can go from working in California to working in Dubai to working in Abu Dhabi to working in Malaysia to working in Florida to working in the Bahamas to working in Australia, New Zealand. That's what this company is all about. We're a global company. We love to transfer our associates around the world and around the country, If you want to travel, if you want to move around, we can do that for you. If you want to stay put in one place and plant your flag, we can help you with that too. So it's pretty much we could pretty much cover every single type of need that a person may have. So that's what makes the company so fun to work for. And again, it's young, it's dynamic. You know, our leadership team is really like engaged with all levels of the business. It's a very open-ended culture to where we constantly ask our associates for feedback and we listen to the feedback and we change things within the company every year with our employee engagement survey. So like we really look at how we can make ourselves better every single year. And in my 4 years here, it's gotten better every single year. So that's my pitch.
No, that was really great. And I agree. Like that was actually what got me into golf was the idea that I could work in any part of the world at a golf course. I still have that passion, even though I'm doing my own thing right now. But if I decide to go back,
Hmm.
that's the appeal for me is the ability to work in other countries. I have a question from a lady named Charlotte. She wanted to know about, do you know anything about opportunities in Vegas? You were in Vegas at one point, right?
Yes, 10 years.
Yeah. Do you know anything about opportunities in Vegas?
Um, Within our Troon portfolio, we do assist two golf courses in Vegas, Rio Seco and Cascada with sales and marketing. Um, and then outside of those two facilities, I'm not directly certain of what's going on in Vegas right now. That is now outside of my market. However, I know with there being over 55 golf courses within the valley, I know there has to be opportunities. And if they want to follow up with me offline, I can get them in contact with the people in Vegas that know what's going on.
Perfect. Also, as a reminder to everybody, I have in the chat the link to our Golf Pro Like Me website so you can sign up for this interview in case you missed some of it. You want to get the recording. And also a reminder of the link and opportunities that Kendall mentioned that are available right now to be employed by Troon. And then also for our upcoming event, oh, she said, what's the name of the course again? The course that you mentioned in Vegas?
I'll put in the chat.
Oh, he's putting
Rio
it in the chat.
Seco.
Okay. So yeah, so if you go to their website, he mentioned Troon, and you go to location, I think you said the top of the website, right? You can put
Uh-huh.
in the city or state, and then it all lists all of the facilities in Troon that Troon manages, so that you have access to those. So like I said, definitely sign up so you can get the recording because there's a lot of great information that was shared, and I don't want you guys to miss out on that. And if you guys are interested in our next topic, which our final event will be next, well, in a couple weeks with AJGA, we'll be talking about business operations to wrap up the series. So please sign up so you can get the notifications on that. And again, thank you, Kendall, for this time. I always love talking to you and talking about facility management since that's near and dear to my heart.
Hmm.
Um, and I thank everybody for all the engagement. This was really great. So see you all in a couple of weeks and have a great day.
Thank you.